Defiance amidst the stars, a acrid smell of burning plasma filled Cooper's nostrils as he dragged himself across the scorched earth of Nexus Colony Alpha 7. The alien forces had decimated the human settlement, leaving nothing but smoke and debris in their wake. Cooper's left arm hung uselessly at his side, a deep gash revealing torn muscle beneath his shredded uniform. Just another day in paradise, Cooper muttered to himself, his voice raspy from inhaling the toxic fumes of the battlefield around him. Lay the bodies of fallen comrades and alien warriors alike, their blood mingling in the dirt of this distant world. A shadow fell across his face, and Cooper looked up to see her, the alien commander who had led the assault against his unit. Her skin glowed a luminescent purple in the dying light of the planet's twin suns, her eyes the color of molten gold. Her uniform clung to her athletic frame, adorned with insignias of rank unknown to human understanding. "Human soldier," she said, her voice carrying a melodic quality despite the harshness of her words. "Your resistance is pointless. Your colony will fall, your people will submit." Cooper looked at her and did the last thing she expected. He smiled. His teeth gleamed white against his dirt-streaked face. "You know," he said casually, "you're the third alien commander to tell me that this month the other two aren't looking so hot right now." The alien commander, Aya was her name, Cooper had heard the other warriors call her, struck forward with lightning speed, her clawed hand connecting with his injured arm. Cooper winced, but instead of screaming, he let out a laugh that echoed across the eerily quiet battlefield. "Did you just laugh?" Aya asked, her golden eyes widening with confusion. "I struck your wounded limb. You should be begging for mercy." Cooper shrugged his good shoulder. "I've had worse. I once got my foot stuck in an airlock for 3 hours. Now that was painful. This..." He gestured to his bleeding arm. "This is just Tuesday." Aya circled him, her movements fluid and predatory. "Your species is known for its fragility, yet you mock pain. Why?" "If I don't laugh," Cooper replied, his smile never wavering, "I'd have to admit how screwed I am, and frankly, that's just depressing." Something flickered across Aya's face, not quite understanding, but perhaps the beginning of curiosity. She crouched beside him, her face inches from his. "You are strange. Human. The others of your kind scream. They plead, they break, but you refuse to bend." "Cooper," he said. "My name is Cooper, not human. And bending isn't really my style." A distant explosion rocked the ground beneath them. Reinforcements were coming. Whose? Cooper couldn't be sure. He tried to stand, but his legs betrayed him, buckling under his weight. "Your people are losing this war," Aya said, her voice softer now. "Why continue fighting?" Cooper looked directly into her golden eyes. "Because someone has to, and because giving up isn't nearly as fun as annoying the hell out of you guys." For a moment, something that might have been amusement crossed Aya's face. Then she stood, her tall frame blocking out one of the suns. "You will die here." "Cooper, maybe," he replied, "but not today." The sound of approaching vehicles cut through the air. Aya's head turned sharply toward the noise. "We will meet again," she said, her voice carrying an odd note of certainty. "Looking forward to it," Cooper called after her as she disappeared into the smoke later. As human medics rushed to his aid, Cooper couldn't shake the memory of those golden eyes studying him with such intensity. It was almost as if she had seen something in him that surprised her, perhaps even intrigued her. As they loaded him onto a stretcher, Cooper gazed up at the alien warships hovering in the atmosphere. "Definitely Tuesday," he murmured before unconsciousness finally claimed him. "Whispers between worlds, you have a death wish, don't you?" Dr. Chen muttered as she examined Cooper's wounded arm beneath the harsh lights of the medical bay. The colony's underground facility hummed with activity as injured soldiers were brought in from the latest skirmish. "Good to see you too, Doc." Cooper winced as she prodded the gash that ran from his shoulder to elbow. "Careful there, I'm hoping to keep that arm." Dr. Chen's dark eyes narrowed. "This is the 3rd time this month, Cooper. 3 times I've had to patch you up after you've done something stupidly heroic. What were you thinking, charging into a squadron of celestial warriors alone?" Cooper grinned despite the pain shooting through his arm. "Someone had to buy time for the civilians to evacuate. Besides, you should see the other guys." "I did see them," Dr. Chen replied dryly, 6 dead celestial warriors. That's quite impressive for one human, but it's also exactly why their commander has taken a special interest in hunting you down. Cooper's mind flashed to Aya's golden eyes, the strange curiosity in her gaze when he had laughed at her attack. Yeah, we've met. She's charming, in a I want to eviscerate you kind of way. Dr. Chen applied a regenerative serum to Cooper's wound, causing him to hiss through clenched teeth. The Celestials don't understand humor. They're a species driven by conquest and honor. Our psychological profiles suggest they view laughter as a sign of madness or weakness. Maybe that's why she didn't kill me, Cooper mused. She seemed confused, wanted to understand why I was laughing. Fascinating, Dr. Chen said, though her tone suggested scientific interest rather than approval. But don't mistake curiosity for mercy, Cooper. The Celestials have destroyed 7 human colonies in the past year. They won't stop until we're all dead or enslaved. As Cooper's arm was being wrapped in synthetic bandages, the medical bay door slid open. Sarah, the leader of the resistance fighters, strode in. Her combat armor was scorched and dented, her face streaked with dirt and determination. Cooper, she nodded curtly. Glad to see you're still breathing. We need you back on your feet. ASAP. Intelligence reports the Celestials are planning another assault in 48 hours, always in demand. Cooper joked, can a guy take a vacation? Sarah didn't smile. This isn't a game. 23 civilians died today. We're losing this war. Cooper's expression sobered. I know, I was there. The humor faded from his voice. We need better weapons, Sarah. The standard pulse rifles barely penetrate their armor. We're working on it, Sarah replied. Engineering has been reverse engineering celestial technology from the weapons we've salvaged. But we need time. Time is something we don't have, Dr. Chen interjected as she finished with Cooper's bandages. At the current rate of casualties, this colony will fall within 2 weeks. The weight of their situation hung heavy in the air. Cooper stared at his bandaged arm, uncharacteristically quiet. Meanwhile, aboard the Celestial Command ship orbiting the planet, Commander Aya stood before a holographic display of the human colony. Her second-in-command, Kai, reviewed battle statistics beside her. We lost 6 warriors in the southern quadrant, Kai reported, all killed by a single human, the same one you encountered on the battlefield. Cooper, Aya said quietly, the human name feeling strange on her tongue. Kai looked at her sharply. You learned his name? Know your enemy, Aya replied smoothly, though something inside her stirred uncomfortably. This human is different. He laughs in the face of pain. He refuses to show fear. Madness. Kai dismissed. Humans are fragile, emotional creatures. This one is simply defective, perhaps, Aya murmured. Or perhaps there is something we do not understand about them. She zoomed the holographic display to focus on the medical facility where their sensors had tracked Cooper. Their resilience is unexpected. The High Council grows impatient. Commander, Kai reminded her, they expect this colony to be subjugated within the lunar cycle. Any delay will be seen as weakness on your part. Aya's golden eyes hardened. I am aware of my duties. Kai, prepare the warriors for the next assault. We will target their power generators without energy. Their defenses will fail. As Kai left to carry out her orders, Aya remained alone with the holographic image of the colony. Her thoughts returned to Cooper, to the strange human who had laughed when she struck him. No Celestial would ever show such disregard for pain, such defiance in the face of a superior opponent. For the first time in her long military career, Aya felt uncertain she had conquered worlds, subjugated species far more physically imposing than humans, yet none had affected her as this one human had. What drives you, Cooper? She whispered to the empty room. What makes you laugh when you should scream? The question lingered in her mind as she prepared for battle, but something else lingered too. A growing sense that this human colony, and one human in particular, might change everything she thought she knew about warfare, about conquest, about herself. Shadows of understanding. The abandoned research outpost sat on the border between human and celestial territory, a neutral ground of sorts that neither side actively patrolled. Cooper moved silently through its dusty corridors. Searching for salvageable technology reconnaissance wasn't his usual assignment. But with his arm still healing, Sarah had deemed him Temporarily unfit for combat duty. Temporarily unfit. Cooper muttered to himself as he pried open a storage locker. I'm perfectly fit to get shot at, but heaven forbid I shoot back. The locker yielded nothing but empty containers and a few data crystals that had long since been corrupted. Cooper pocketed them anyway. Dr. Chen might be able to recover something. A soft sound made him freeze. A footstep. Too light to be human. Something was moving in the darkness ahead. Cooper drew his sidearm and pressed himself against the wall, trying to control his breathing. The figure that emerged from the shadows made his heart rate spike. Commander Aya stood in the corridor, her purple skin almost luminescent in the dim emergency lighting. Her hand rested on her weapon, but she hadn't drawn it yet. Cooper, she said. His name a statement rather than a question, Commander, he replied, keeping his sidearm pointed at her. Fancy meeting you here, did you follow me? Aya tilted her head. I could ask you the same, your presence is unexpected. I was in the neighborhood. Cooper shrugged, never lowering his weapon. Thought I'd do some shopping, the selection's terrible, though something that might have been amusement flickered across Aya's face. You continue with your humor. Even now, even alone, it's part of my charm, Cooper said. Now, are we going to shoot each other, or did you have something else in mind? Aya studied him for a long moment before slowly removing her hand from her weapon. I am not here to fight you, I came seeking answers. Cooper raised an eyebrow but kept his gun steady. Answers to what? You, she said simply. You confound me. Your species is physically weaker than mine, yet you persist, you laugh at pain, you mock defeat. Why? The question caught Cooper off guard. He lowered his gun slightly. That's what you came for? Philosophy? Understanding, Aya corrected. No species we have encountered behaves as yours does as you do. Cooper considered her words. The reasonable response would be to shoot her and run, but something in her golden eyes, curiosity, perhaps even respect, made him hesitate. Look, he finally said, fully lowering his weapon. I'm not a philosopher, I'm just a soldier, but from where I stand, when everything's falling apart around you, you've got two choices. Break down or find something to laugh about. I chose the latter. Even facing extinction? Especially then. Cooper leaned against the wall. Death comes for everyone eventually. The only question is how you meet it. Aya moved closer, studying him with that same intense gaze that had haunted Cooper's thoughts since their first encounter. Your kind values individual life above all else, yet you risk yours repeatedly. Not all of us. Cooper smiled faintly. I'm special, yes, Aya said so softly he almost didn't hear it. You are. Something shifted in the air between them, a tension that wasn't entirely hostile. Cooper became acutely aware of how close she stood, of the strange beauty in her alien features. Your wound, she said, gesturing to his bandaged arm. It heals? Cooper nodded. Your people hit hard, but we humans are pretty good at putting ourselves back together. I have observed this. She reached out hesitantly, her fingers hovering near his injured arm without touching it. You adapt, you endure, our scientists cannot explain it. Maybe some things can't be explained. Cooper found himself saying maybe that's what makes life interesting. Their eyes met, and for a breathless moment, Cooper felt as though something profound and dangerous was happening, a connection forming where there should only be enmity. The moment shattered as a distant crash echoed through the facility. Both of them tensed. Weapons instantly raised. Someone else's here, Aya whispered. Not mine. Cooper responded. Your people? Aya shook her head. Kai would have informed me. They moved in tandem, instinctively falling into a defensive position back to back. Cooper felt the strange warmth of her body against his as they scanned the darkened corridors. We should not be doing this, Aya murmured. You are my enemy. Right now, Cooper replied. I think we have a common problem. The sound came. Again, closer this time, Cooper recognized it with a jolt of alarm. Scavengers, he hissed. Not human, not celestial, third party. Opportunists, they kill anything that moves, then we should move elsewhere, Aya said pragmatically. Cooper nodded. There's an emergency exit through the east wing, follow me. As they navigated the dark corridors, Cooper realized the absurdity of their situation. A human and a celestial commander, working together to escape a mutual threat. It should have felt wrong instead. It felt strangely natural. They reached a sealed door. Cooper began working on the lock while Aya kept watch. The proximity between them was electric, charged with something neither of them dared name Cooper, she said quietly as he worked. This encounter, did it happen? He understood what she was asking. As far as my people know, I never saw you today, nor I you. She agreed. The door slid open with a hiss of hydraulics. Cooper turned to face her. Next time we meet, it will be as enemies. She finished. Cooper smiled, that infuriating, defiant smile, or maybe not, who knows. The universe is full of surprises. For the first time, Aya's lips curved in what might have been a smile. Indeed it is, Cooper. Indeed it is. Hearts across the void. The raids had intensified over the past week, yet Cooper found himself drawn repeatedly to the abandoned research outpost each time. Aya was there. Their meetings began as cautious exchanges, evolved into conversations, and eventually became something neither dared to name. Your military strategy is flawed, Aya told him during their fifth encounter, as they sat across from each other in the dim light of the facility's emergency generators. Your forces spread too thin. You cannot protect all sectors. We're not trying to win, Cooper admitted. We're buying time for evacuations. Aya's golden eyes studied him. Your honesty is unexpected. Why tell me this? Cooper shrugged. Because I trust you and because I think you already knew. Yes, she acknowledged. I did. Their hands rested inches apart on the metal table between them. Cooper's fingers moved first. Bridging the gap to touch hers, Aya didn't pull away. This is forbidden, she whispered. Contact between our species outside of combat. Most good things in life are forbidden, Cooper replied, his voice low. That's what makes them worth pursuing. Their eyes met, and the universe seemed to pause. Aya leaned forward, her curiosity overcoming centuries of ingrained prejudice. Her lips met Cooper's in an exploratory kiss that sent electricity through both their bodies. Your people would execute you for this, Cooper murmured against her lips. As would yours, she responded. Worth it. He smiled, unknown to them. Kai had followed Aya, suspicious of her frequent absences. Now he watched from the shadows, his face contorted with disgust and betrayal. Back at the human base, Sarah confronted Cooper. Where do you keep disappearing to? And why are the Celestials suddenly avoiding our northern quadrant? Just lucky, I guess. Cooper evaded. Sarah's eyes narrowed. We're not winning this war by luck, Cooper. Something's changed, and I think you know what it is. Dawn of a new galaxy. The final assault came without warning. Celestial warships descended on the colony in unprecedented numbers. Cooper fought on the front lines, desperately searching for Aya among the chaos. She wasn't leading the attack. Cooper. Sarah's voice crackled through his comms. Fall back. We've lost the outer perimeter. What about the civilians? He demanded. Isabel negotiated an evacuation corridor. The Celestials are letting them through. Cooper froze. That's not their protocol. They never allow evacuations. Realization struck him. Aya had done this. She had given his people a chance, but where was she? He found her in the command center of her ship, surrounded by her own warriors. All of them, including Kai, had weapons trained on her. Traitor, Kai spat. You betrayed our people for a human. Aya stood tall, defiant. I discovered a truth. The High Council fears we are not superior, we are merely different. Our war against humanity is based on lies. The human has corrupted you. Kai raised his weapon. Cooper burst through the doorway. Weapon drawn. I wouldn't do that. Cooper. Aya's eyes widened. You shouldn't be here. Couldn't let you. Have all the fun, he smiled despite the dire circumstances. What followed was chaos and revelation. Isabel arrived with proof that the war had been orchestrated by a third party, manipulating both species. Cooper and Aya fought side by side against those who would perpetuate the conflict when it ended. They stood together on the bridge of the command ship, watching as human and celestial representatives signed the first peace accord. They're calling you both traitors and heroes, Isabel told them. History hasn't decided which yet. History never does, Cooper said, his hand finding Aya's. It just tells stories. Aya's fingers intertwined with his. And what story shall we tell, Cooper? He smiled. That same defiant smile that had first captured her attention on a battlefield that now seemed lifetimes ago. That sometimes you have to laugh in the face of death to find a reason to live. That sometimes the enemy isn't who you think it is. And sometimes, Aya finished, her golden eyes meeting his, love grows in the most impossible places. As the twin suns set on a new era of peace, Cooper pulled Aya close. So what's next, Commander? She smiled, a full smile that transformed her face. The universe is vast, Cooper, and full of surprises. Good, he said, kissing her. I like surprises. Their silhouettes merged against the backdrop of stars. Two beings from different worlds who had found, against all odds, that the distance between their hearts was not so vast after all.